Hi everyone, I'm here today to do my evening skincare routine. In my last video I shared my morning skincare routine, so I'd recommend starting with that video if you haven't seen it yet. In that you'll kind of get familiarized with my skincare routine and kind of skincare philosophy, so definitely start with that first. I'll put the link down below and also in the little eye up here. I've also made other skincare related videos, so those will also be linked down below and up here. And yeah, you should go check them out. But with that out of the way, let me get into this evening's routine. So let me just put on my little headband here. Now you may recall from my other video that the morning is about protection and the evening is about repair. So a lot of the products I talk about tonight will have that kind of reparation theme. But first things first, and that is starting with a cleanser. And I like to start with a Micellar cleanse, as this is a great way to just remove that first layer of makeup before going in with a more heavy-handed cleanse. So this one from Simple is really nice. It is, very affordable, works great. I honestly have no complaints. I like to put it in this bottle just because I prefer the little pump action with this bottle, and I use this with these Japanese cotton pads that are awesome. They are honestly like such nice quality, and I just get them from Daiso. So Daiso is this Japanese dollar store that's in parts of the US, but yeah, they have them in Texas. So when I'm home with my family, I like to stock up at Daiso, and this little pump container is also from Daiso. So yeah, see if you have a Daiso near you, because I mean, they're really awesome. Whoops. Yeah, so anyway, saturate my pad with some micellar water and just press it against my face. For this first pass of micellar water, I really focus on the eyes because I know I'm going to get most of my other face makeup off in my cleanse, so I'm not too concerned about stuff like foundation. Alright, and then I can just flip it around, honestly. There's no need to use two of these in my opinion. I really prefer these cotton pads from Daiso because they're just so much softer than the ones that you typically get in like the drugstore. Alright, now that my makeup is kind of mostly off, the next step is a second cleanse, and I go back with my CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. Now I know this says it's for normal to dry skin, but I have combo skin and I love it. I think this is great for everyone, honestly. So I highly recommend trying this even if you don't have normal to dry skin. So anyway, I'm not going to do this on camera, so I'm gonna head over to the sink and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I've just cleansed my face with the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser and gently pat to dry with my towel. And while I was over at the sink, I was actually reminded of something that is critical for our health, and that is dental health. And there's just one product that I really want to recommend to you guys. I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but that is my Sonicare toothbrush. Now, I have historically had really bad teeth. Like, I have very good dental hygiene, but my enamel is just genetically kind of shit. So I used to always get cavities even though I did everything that was recommended for me, except that I do eat candy, and I still eat candy. So that was the one thing I wouldn't listen to the doctor on or the dentist on. But ever since I switched to the Sonicare, and this has been like 7-8 years now, I honestly, in the last 8 years, I can't recall when I got the last cavity. Like maybe I have had one cavity in this time, which is shocking to me because before this I used to get them like all the freaking time. No joke, you guys. I highly recommend the Sonicare toothbrush. I've used other electric toothbrushes in the past, but none of them are the same. It's the same idea with kind of the Clarisonic versus other imitation things. This also uses the Sonic technology because I believe they're the same company that makes these two things. And yes, Sonicare is amazing. This is just the cheapest model. They have other higher end models now, but no need, in my opinion. Just go with the classic, and yeah, amazing, love it. Oh, one more kind of dental recommendation is if you hate flossing, try the Glide Floss if you haven't yet. I honestly think this Glide Floss makes flossing so much easier. It's just, yeah, if you don't like flossing, give this a go if you haven't yet, because it really has also made me change my mind on my enjoyment of flossing. Alright, back to the actual topic at hand, which is skincare. So after my cleansing is when I go in with the first step of my skincare regimen, the main active that I use, which is tretinoin or Retin-A, and I use this from Curology. Now, I used to use kind of the classic tubes that you get from a prescription and via your dermatologist, but since the new year I actually switched to Curology. Now what Curology is a kind of Uber for basic skincare in so many words. I mean, it's not at all like Uber, but it is a web-based technology that, or platform, that connects you to the company, and you are paired up with a registered nurse, so someone who does have the authority to write prescriptions, and working with that nurse, explaining your skincare concerns, they formulate a specific product for you, and mine has tretinoin, vitamin C in the form of magnesium something, I don't recall what exactly, and niacinamide. So again, vitamin C and niacinamide, as long as it's not ascorbic acid, is fine, and these two go together fine. And this formulation is designed for anti-aging, and I've really liked it. This is, I find, much better, a much nicer, more comfortable, less irritating formula for me to use than just straight up tretinoin from the tube. And also the tretinoin percentage in here, the dosage is actually lower than what the lowest you can get at the drugstore, which I believe is 0.025%. So when I first started on this, actually I started with 0.012%, and now I'm worked up to 0.02%. Previously I had used just 0.025% tretinoin, and I always found that to be kind of dry, really irritating for my skin. Like, you know, I would generally have like tons of flakiness happening with that, but with this I honestly have not. So just 1.5 pumps I find is more than enough. Now, as far as price, that's another reason why I switched to Curology. With tretinoin, because my tretinoin prescription is for cosmetic purposes according to my health insurance, it does not cover it, and tretinoin out of pocket in the US is some ridiculous price. I don't understand why it's so much. It's the damn pharmaceutical industry and our messed up healthcare system, but it is $200 out of pocket, and yeah, it's freaking expensive. Curology is $20 a month, and so over the course of a year that's about $240. With tretinoin, with the tube that I got, it would last like maybe 6 months to a year, so $200 for one of those tubes plus the dermatology appointment was, yeah, a lot more expensive. And honest, I have really good health care, so it's not even my health insurance plan that sucks. It's honestly just, in this case, if you're looking for it for anything other than acne purposes, your health insurance likely will not cover tretinoin. So I figure, why spend as much or potentially more money on tretinoin when I can do this from the comfort of my bed and my pajamas online, send Laura, my RN, my pictures, and have her just prescribe me something. And also it's nice because there's open lines of dialogue between you and your nurse. So, you know, if you feel like the formula isn't working well, like the very next month, you'll get prescribed something new, and it just comes to you shipped in the mail every month. So I'm gonna put all the information on Curology down below, and the first month you use it is actually only $5 or something, and there's no risk. You can get a full refund if you don't like the service, but I love it. I'm surprised that you don't hear more about it on the YouTubes for anti-aging, because a lot of people, as far as I understand, have a difficult time getting this, or you know, maybe they don't have time to visit a dermatologist or something. So this really simplifies that. Unfortunately, this is only available in some states. There's like a handful of states it's not available in. I think it's available in most states, and I don't believe it's in Canada, so this is only applicable for my American friends out there. Okay, so that is the Retin-A part of my routine. Retin-A, again, is one of those great repairing agents because it has the most scientific backing to show its efficacy in reducing wrinkles, boosting collagen, repairing all of your skin cell communication, blah blah, whatever. I talk about this extensively in my Ordinary Shopping Guide Vitamins and Retinoids video, so you guys should go check that out if you want to know more about Retin-A. This is a must for anyone who is serious about anti-aging, so I think if you're in your 30s and up, you can really start using a low dose of this product. I use the Retin-A 6 nights a week, and one night a week I will actually go in with another kind of main active, and that is this acid. This is the alpha hydrox, or sorry, it used to be called alpha hydrox. Now it's the alpha skincare 10% glycolic gel, and this is fantastic. So if you recall from my ordinary video, I talked about this ordinary lactic acid 5%, and I really wanted to give this a try because, you know, I don't know, I wanted to switch it up a bit. But I found this incredibly irritating. It's very itchy on my skin. I couldn't stand to leave it on overnight. I had to wash it off pretty much right away. But amazingly with this glycolic gel, and this is 10%, which is a lot heavier dose, and glycolic is a lot stronger of an acid than lactic, nevertheless, this gel does not irritate, has never irritated my skin at all, so I don't know what to say about that other than I really like it. I mean, it works really well, you know, in the morning I'll wake up and yes, it seems to have sloughed off that kind of upper layer of skin, which is exactly what I want it for, and I take care of that in the morning with just some gentle physical exfoliation. Go check out my morning video if you don't know what I'm talking about. But this is a really great one to use kind of like once or twice a week, alternating with another active like the Retin-A. I'll just show you what this texture is like. It's like a very liquidy texture, and it just goes on super clear. A little bit goes a long way. It's very spreadable, feels great on the skin, to be honest. So that's kind of the main repair step. One or the other after cleansing for me. Okay, next step, you know, I've given that enough time to dry, and usually during that wait time actually is when I do my flossing, but it's totally dried on my skin now, so I can go right on in with my next step, and that is an optional one, and this is the Hada Labo, I don't know what it's actually called. It is a toner, but it's an Asian style toner. This is one of those cult favorite products in the Asian skincare world, and this is definitely not like an astringent toner that you see in the Western world or that we're used to in the Western world, but Asian toners are more like essences. They're like hydrating toners. So with this is optional. If I'm feeling the need for an extra boost of hydration, I just pour a little bit out onto my palm and pat. The main little worker in here is different forms of hyaluronic acid. I don't do that most nights, to be honest. It's really kind of like dead of winter, my skin is really parched, then I'll go in with some extra hyaluronic. Okay, this next step is another optional step for most people, but I like it because I really love my niacinamide, and that is these two together. So you can absolutely use one or the other, or none of them, to be quite honest, but in my case I like to use these together, and that is this snail mucus and the ordinary niacinamide. So this is a great little niacinamide booster. These two work together really nicely. I like to use them together because I like snail mucin, and if you're familiar at all with Asian skincare routines, you'll know that snail mucin is a big part of it. So this is that slime that snails leave behind. And the reason why it's nice is because it is naturally has a lot of antioxidants and hyaluronic acid and glycolic acid. In this case, this is about a 6 or something, 6.5 pH, and glycolic acid only really works as a chemical exfoliant in the 3 to 4 pH range, so the glycolic acid in here actually acts more like a moisturizer rather than a chemical exfoliant, just FYI in case you were wondering. But with this, 2 pumps, and then I'll just put on top of that like 1 to 2 drops of this niacinamide, and rub it together, pat. If you've never used a snail mucin before, be warned, it is very sticky, so a lot of people might not enjoy this, but it is worth trying in your skincare routine. I do find it is an amazing hydrator. You know, especially if you have really dry skin, you can try heavier like snail mucin creams, and those, I mean, honestly, they work beautifully in terms of kind of reviving really dry skin. So I like this essence because it's a little lighter and it's a good carrier for my niacinamide. And give that a second to absorb in. still a little sticky, but you know, it definitely does dry a little nicer. I don't use any of those in the morning because I find both of them are quite sticky, and yeah, I don't really like that under makeup. Alright, last step in my routine is another kind of wrapping it all up with some moisturizer, and I really like this CeraVe PM lotion. And if I really want another boost of moisture in here, I'll put in some of this ordinary organic rosehip seed oil. So these are a great way to just wrap everything up. Love this CeraVe. It is a very lightweight lotion as well. Great to use summer, especially in the summertime. If you really need more moisturization, you should probably get a heavier cream. But for me, this is like great all year round. And sometimes in the winter especially, I'll probably just go in with a little bit of this rosehip seed. So just a couple of drops. Rub it together and more patting. And we're done. That wraps it up. Oh, I guess one other thing is lip care. So I showed this in the morning routine, Vaseline. One other thing I like to use is this Nuxe Fève de Mille. A commenter actually suggested this in one of my earlier videos, and I have been using this and quite enjoying it. But like I said, Vaseline is still kind of one of my go-tos, so whatever. This is a good one though because it does stay on your lips. Like I wake up and I still feel this on my lips, so it is doing a nice job of staying on and keeping my lips hydrated over the course of the night. And that is it. I don't do any specific eye creams or neck creams because the stuff I'm using is going to do work on my eyes and on my neck, so I don't find the need to go in with anything special. Yeah, whatever, your eyes need smaller molecules. I don't know, I think that's just all marketing bullshit, to be quite honest. So I go in with this routine and I really like it, and I'm finding my skin is great. Pardon the, you know, occasional hormonal zit that I do get once a month. So with that, I am done. And yes, this does leave my face kind of a grease ball for the night, but that's totally fine because I'm just going to bed anyway, and by the time I wake up in the morning, I feel nice and my skin is refreshed and ready to take on the day. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. If you want to know more about any of the actives I talked about, I think most of them I actually cover in that Ordinary Shopping Guide Vitamins and Retinoids video, so you can go hop on over to that one. I extensively talk about that. It is a long, potentially boring video. But with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye, and don't forget to subscribe.